Dear students, in the last lesson we applied alternating current or alternating voltage to a pure resistor. In this lesson we are going to apply the same AC voltage to an inductor, and this video is going to be a bit longer one. Okay, so but I suggest you to go thoroughly to the end so that you can get each and everything within this topic. Okay, so what is an inductor? Inductor is a coil. Okay, inductor is a coil in which we consider zero resistance. Zero resistance means any coil which is made to be a inductor, which is made as inductor, must have some resistance, right? But here we don't consider any resistance. So you write it as a note, the resistance of this coil or inductor is neglected or treated as zero. So we are going to apply the AC voltage to this system. So voltage V is equal to V0 sine of omega t, and we have already studied what are V0, what are omega t's, etc. So this is my inductor L whose resistance is neglected. Okay, now whenever we apply this voltage V, here we apply this voltage V is equal to V0 sine of omega t. Let us say this as equation number 1, and what happens is this is changing. Why it is changing? It is changing because this is AC voltage. Now whenever there is changing voltage, there must be the changing magnetic flux linked with this coil, isn't it? Because of this changing voltage, and because of that there must be some phenomenon called self-inductance. We have studied self-inductance in the chapter 6. Okay, so because of the self-inductance there will be generation of EMF E, isn't it, in this coil. Changing current produces changing magnetic flux in this coil, and this coil, this changing magnetic flux is again linked with the same coil. Therefore, according to Faraday law, EMF will induce, and this is the induced EMF. So this induced EMF is E is equal to minus L di by dt. We have studied this. What is L? L is the inductance of this inductor. What is I? I is the current. And what is di by dt? The rate of change of current in this circuit. Okay. So AC through an inductor. Sometimes this circuit can also be termed as purely inductive. What does this mean, purely inductive? Purely inductive means we do not consider any other resistance of the wire, any other resistance of the coil. We only consider the inductance of this coil. So it is also called as inductive, okay, purely inductive circuit. So you can also write this small things which will be very helpful for examination. So this is EMF, induced EMF in inductor. Okay, in inductor, very important point. So there are two ways to solve this. Okay, so we are going to solve it with the Kirchhoff's loop law or Kirchhoff's voltage law. So we are going to find now the current. How much will be the current? What will be the equation of current in this situation? To find, so we are going to use Kirchhoff's voltage law or simply Kirchhoff's loop law. Okay, so we have studied this in current electricity, that what does it say is that this is actually the second Kirchhoff's law, loop law. The addition, okay, sum of all the potential drop and EMF in a closed loop is equal to 0. If I add potential drop, if I add EMF in the closed loop, will be equal to 0. So here is my closed loop. So what are the EMF and what is the potential drop? So what is EMF 1? EMF is this voltage. So I will write this is V plus of this E. There is one EMF E. And is there any potential drop? Is there any electrical instrument? Nothing is there. So V plus E will be equal to 0. So then let us put the values. This will be V0 sine omega t minus L di by dt. Okay, and what happens is that implies this V0 sine of omega t will be equal, okay, this is equal to 0, of course, will be equals to L di by dt. I bring this side, this minus will become plus. So what is our main aim here? main aim here is to calculate the current I. So to calculate current I, this is V0. I will bring this L down here and I will write sine omega t. It is just a cross multiplication, and I bring this dt over here and I will just write di. Now I got some equation of I, but it is in the di. So I want to find the I. So how can I find? We will integrate it. Okay. So in the next step, I will write di is equals to v0 by I sine of omega t dt, and I want to find the I. To do so, we will integrate both sides. Integration of di is equal to integration of sine omega t dt. And where is v0 by L? v0 by L is here. This is outside the integration. I am taking this outside the integration because v0 is a constant and L is also a constant. L is inductance, which is constant. So what is integration of sine x dx? The integration of sine x dx is minus of cos x plus c. What is this c? This c is constant. Why is there constant term? Because there is no limit. If it was a to b, then there would be no c. But this is indefinite integral, that is, there is no limits, then there must be some c. So another formula of this is sine ax dx will be equal to minus of cos ax plus c. There is this a, so this a will come in the denominator. This is just the integral identities that we have actually done in class 11 as well as in the mathematics class 12. Okay, integral calculus. So what will become this? This will become integration of di is I will become v0 by L, and this will become minus cos omega t divided by omega plus c. This a is constant and this omega is also constant, so it will come in the denominator. So what is c? c is integration constant, and integration constant here, this becomes 0. Okay. Now in some lessons or in some book, this may be not written. It may be just written after this one, understanding that the c is actually has become 0. But we can always write this. But there must be some reason why this c has become 0. Okay. There is something called time independent and time dependent, but I don't want to go into the deepest knowledge of the c, but I will rather say that because of the symmetry of the current and the voltage, this c is 0. Okay, so this is done. Let us solve it now. Okay, the c has become 0, then this I, okay, this is I, not I0, is equal to, there is v0, this is L, and this omega I will bring it here, this negative sign I bring it here, this become cos of omega t. Okay, so implies this will become I is equal to minus of I0 cos of omega t. So this is equation number 2. So what is I0? I0, what is the value of I0 here? Where this I0 is equal to V0 divided by L of omega. Okay, so I will write this I0 is equal to V0 by L omega, and it has very important significance in this topic. So I will discuss this term later on. For time being, I am writing I0 is equal to V0 by L omega. Okay, so this is equation number 2, but there is a little bit problem with this equation. The problem is that if we see here in voltage, I have sine here, but here I have cos. So I want to make two of them as same function. Either I can convert this sine into cos, so that in current there is cos, in voltage also it will become cos. But I want to convert this cos into sine, okay, so that I will have the trigonometric function sine in current, sine in voltage. Okay, so to convert this, I will use the formula that sine 90 minus theta is equal to cos of theta. So this is the formula with the help of which I am going to convert this cos theta into sine. Okay, cos theta is equal to sine 90 minus theta. So what is 90? This 90 is actually pi by 2, isn't it? You can write it in the next step also. So sine pi by 2 minus theta is cos theta. So cos theta is equal to this much. So therefore this I will be equal to minus I0 is there, and cos theta can be written as written as sine pi by 2 minus of theta. What is theta? Theta is omega t. So this is our next equation, right, using this trigonometric ratio. And one more formula what I have is minus of sine theta can be written as sine minus of theta, because I want to absorb this minus sign here. Okay, so with the help of this formula we can convert this into some more beautiful equation. So therefore I is equal to I0 is there, sine is there, then this minus will go inside this bracket. So minus pi by 2, this minus will become plus omega t. Okay, so this is the formula. So I will write it here. What is equation number 2? Equation number 2 is I is equal to minus of I0 cos of omega t is equation number 2. Okay, so if I solve it, then after I get solving this will become I is equal to I0, there is sine within bracket, positive I will write ahead, omega t has got positive, and minus of pi by 2 I will write it like this, and this is equation number 3. So we got equation number 1, 2 and 3. So our purpose is done. In voltage I have sine, in current I have sine. So our purpose of finding current and the voltage is now done. Now what we need to see is we need to see the phase difference. What is the phase difference? Phase is the angle. Phase is the angle of sine. Okay. So here the angle of sine is omega t, but here the angle of sine is omega t minus pi by 2. Are they same? No. Something is different, right? Omega t minus pi by 2 is here. Here is only omega t. What does it mean? It means that there is phase difference. Okay. So when there is phase difference, when AC voltage or AC current passes through an inductor, there is phase difference. Just write it in the sentence, there is phase difference. Okay, phase difference of pi by 2. How much is the phase difference? Phase difference is delta, or this phi is equal to pi by 2. So there is phase difference. There exists the net phase difference between voltage and the current. Now if we are saying difference, then what does this mean is that something is more than something, or someone is ahead of someone, isn't it? If I say difference, what does this difference means is something is large and something is small, something is ahead, something is behind. So that is our phase difference. So here we have got the phase difference. Now can you tell me which one is lagging and which one is ahead, which one is behind and which one is ahead? Just looking at this equation, we can say that current is lagging, which is behind, and the voltage is ahead. Why? In voltage I have sine omega t, in current I have sine omega t minus of pi by 2. It means that pi by 2 is being subtracted from omega t. Then this term will become less than this one, and this is in the current. So current is lagging the voltage, और voltage is leading the current. यहाँ पर क्या हो रहा है? करंट जो है पीछे दौड़ रही है, क्योंकि करंट पर पाई बाई 2 माइनस में, एंड इन वोल्टेज आगे जा रही है करंट से, ठीक है ना, क्योंकि यहाँ पर माइनस है ना पाई बाई 2. इसीलिए whenever the current and the voltage passes through this inductor, there is a competition between voltage and the current. So which one will move forward? Voltage will move forward. Which one will move backward? Which one will be lagging? कौन सा वैल्यू पीछे होगा? करंट वैल्यू पीछे होगा, क्योंकि ओमेगा टी से करंट में क्या माइनस हो रहा है, पाई बाई टू. सो देयर इज नेट फेज डिफरेंस ऑफ पाई बाई टू. सो इन this can be written as the voltage V is leading the current. क्या है, करंट से वोल्टेज आगे है, क्योंकि करंट पर पाई बाई टू माइनस हुआ है. ओके, द वोल्टेज इज लीडिंग द करंट बाय पाई बाई टू. इक्विवेलेंटली इसको हम क्या भी लिख सकते हैं, बताओ यहाँ पर, और दूसरा ये लिख सकते हैं, द करंट आई इज लैगिंग द वोल्टेज बाय पाई बाई टू. बोथ आर सेम. ओके, करंट वोल्टेज से पीछे है, इस पर वोल्टेज करंट से आगे है. बोथ आर सेम. It means that there is a competition between current and the voltage when it passes through a inductor. What is the difference? Phase difference is pi by 2. कौन आगे जा रहा है, वोल्टेज. कौन पीछे जा रहा है, करंट. Obviously current, because it is minus. Okay, it is done. Now it's very simple. But in resistor, there was no competition. They were moving with the same. Okay, there was no phase difference. Okay, so but here we have got the phase difference. So I am yet to explain this. I will explain this later. Now let us plot this in graphical form. Okay, इसको हम क्या करते हैं, ग्राफ में. Let us plot it in the graph. This is omega t, and this is my voltage or current. So this is also my voltage or current. So this is 0. Okay, so let me plot the voltage first. So this is my voltage. Okay, and this is the maximum voltage, that is V0, and this value, what is this value? I have told you last time in the last previous lesson, this is pi by 2, this is pi, so this is 3 pi by 2, and this is 2 pi, and this is going to be 5 pi by 2. How to remember this? I have already told you. Just remember like this: 0 pi by 2, 1 pi by 2, 2 pi by 2, 3 pi by 2, and so on. Okay, 0 pi by 2 is 0, this is this. 1 pi by 2 is pi by 2, this is here. Quarter cycle, 2 and 2 cancels, it will become pi, which is here, and this is 3 pi by 2, and so on. This is how you can remember, but this has come from the omega t, which I have explained in the previous lesson. So if you are watching this for the first time without the first lesson, please go visit that lesson, and then you will understand how we can write this one. Okay, so this is all about this. Now I have to put the current also. Okay, but here what happens is the voltage started from 0 and it reached the maximum point when it was pi by 2 V0. Okay, and what happens here is the current is lagging. Okay, the current is behind the voltage. So the voltage started from 0 and its reach is maximum V0 at pi by 2. When the voltage reaches pi by 0, pi by 2, only then the current will start like this. Only then the current will start, and this value is the maximum V0. Okay, so this is different diagram than the previous one. Why? We can say, what is the phase? Because of the phase difference, this kind of difference in the diagram has occurred. The voltage already started and it reached to the maximum of V0, and after that from pi by 2 current, okay, so this is I0, sorry, I0, the current started and reached the maximum at pi. So which one is moving ahead? V is moving ahead. Why? Because the V has already attained its maximum value V0. After that the current has attained here. After this many time it attained I0 later. So which is ahead? Voltage is ahead, that is leading by pi by 2. Okay, so or we can also draw it just like this. So this diagram you have to understand and you have to remember. There is you have to read you should be able to read this diagram. So this diagram is for inductor. In examination it may be asked, if this diagram is given, then you may be asked for what situation this diagram corresponds to. Then if you see this diagram, the voltage, the maximum value of voltage has reached at pi by 2, and later on the maximum value of current has reached at pi. So first V0 attained the maximum and then I0 attained the maximum. So which is ahead? Voltage is ahead because it already attained its maximum. It attained the maximum earlier than the current. So V is leading. Now in what situation V leads? When the current passes through an inductor. So this is the region, this is how you can remember. There is some more trick to remember this graph, but if I tell that all those, then it will become more messy and confusing. Okay, one thing I will tell you, that if current is here, current is below, then current is lagging. Okay, this is how you can also remember. So this is all about the diagram. Now next is instantaneous power. Instantaneous power. Okay, if there is a flow of current and the voltage, then this inductor must consume some power. Let us find the instantaneous power. But we don't calculate instantaneous power. Eventually we have to calculate the average power. Okay, but first we have to calculate instantaneous power, because from the instantaneous power we calculate average power. So we know the formula of power equal to VI. Okay, so what is the formula of V? It is V0 sine of omega t into what is the value of I? I is equal to I0 sine omega t minus pi by 2. Another formula is minus I0 cos omega t. So I am going to use this formula. Okay, minus I0 cos omega t. If I solve it, this will become minus V0 I0 sine omega t cos omega t. Okay, so let us use some identity to solve this more. Okay, the identity we have got is sine 2a is equal to 2 sine a cos a. So this is the formula. Now if I do it like this, sine 2a divided by 2, I bring this 2 down, then it will become sine a cos a. So sine a cos a can be written as sine 2, sorry, this is a not pi. Okay, sine 2a equal to 2 sine a cos a. Sine 2a by 2 is equal to sine a cos a. Is this similar with this one? Yes, this is a omega t. So can I convert this into this kind of form? Yes, we can convert. So therefore the power will become minus V0 I0 and sine 2, what is a, is omega t divided by 2. So this is my instantaneous power. So we got the instantaneous power as minus V0 I0, this 2 I will bring it here and it will become sine 2 omega t. So this is instantaneous power. But in daily life we do not calculate, we do not refer the instantaneous power, because whenever I say I have got the bulb of 100 watt, I have got the bulb of 60 watt, sometimes I say I have got the LED bulb of 8 watt. This watt is power. Okay, and that watt I am referring is a constant number. Sometimes I am saying 8 watt, sometimes I am saying 100 watt, 60 watt. Then that power should be a particular value. It should not vary, it should not change. But if I see this equation, there is something called time t, which is changing. If the time changes, then power should also change. Therefore, instantaneous power is nothing to do in daily life. So what we do is we calculate the average power. Okay, so that average power is given by, okay, average power. So this average power symbol is this one, or P average. So I prefer to write this one. So how to find the P average is this one, is equal to, there is V0 I0 by 2 and sine 2 omega t. Of course, with the negative sign, I will take the average of this. Now, in second step, what we do is, we see this V0 I0 by 2. V0 is constant, I0 is also constant, 2 is also constant, and we don't take the average of constant. So, I will remove it here and I will just take the average of sine 2 omega t. Now, the average of sine 2 omega t is equal to 0. The average of cos 2 omega t is also equal to 0, direct and straightforward. Now, the question comes, is there any analytical or mathematical way to prove the average of sine 2 omega t is equal to 0? Yes, we can prove it. Definitely, I will put the different video. How can we prove this? There is some formula, average of sine 2 omega t is equal to 1 by capital T, which is time period, integration 0 to t, okay, sine 2 omega t dt will give me 0. So, this is the process to prove this 0. And if this becomes 0, 0 into anything, 0 into this will become 0. So, the power average is equal to 0. Understood? But this is very contradictory. It is very unworthy things, because the current and the voltage is passing here. There is current passing through the inductor. Now, and if the current passes in any electrical system, it must consume some power, isn't it? But the average power we calculated is 0. Why is this 0? It is because that in the earlier we said that we are only considering pure inductor. We are not considering the resistance of this coil. That is why it has become 0. Okay, now the new term has come from here, which is something called the wattless current. Okay, let us define wattless current. Wattless current. So, what is wattless current? Though there is flow of current, but average power is 0. Therefore, this kind of current is called wattless current. There is current, okay, but the power is 0. Okay, but in real life, it must consume some power, but we are getting 0 because that we have not considered the resistance. Okay, therefore we got power equal to 0. Now, in this case, that current is called wattless current. So, what is wattless current? When any electrical element element do not consume any energy. Okay, if the average energy consumed by any electrical element is 0, please remember the average of power. If the average power or average energy, same here. If the average power consumed by any electrical element is 0, then that current is called wattless current. So, we have also studied wattless current now. So, we have done each and everything. Now, let us go to the phasor diagram. Okay. So, phasor diagram, as already said, we can also extend this line and draw it here, but it will become very rough. So, I will make the phasor diagram here. This is my phasor diagram, omega t, and this is my V or I. This is V or I, and this is 0. To draw the phasor diagram, first we have to draw the voltage, and this is my voltage. Say this is V, and this value, okay, this value is my V, okay, and this angle is phase angle, which is omega t. This omega t is common in current also, there is omega t, in voltage also there is omega t. So, this will always be my omega t. Now, in the previous phasor diagram, we had drawn the current and the voltage in the same line, stating that there is no phase difference. Okay, but here we have got the phase difference. It means that we cannot draw the current in the same line. We have to draw the current in some other direction. Okay, since the current is lagging, so we have to draw the current below here. Okay, current is down, so I have to draw the current below this line like this. And please remember this point also. This is going to be my current, value of current. Now one more thing I want to tell you here in the phasor diagram is what is the angle, phase difference, what is the phase angle between current and voltage? Pi by 2. So this angle here is pi by 2, that is 90 degree. So this is how we draw the phasor diagram of AC current and the voltage when it passes through the inductor. So very importantly, the length of this voltage vector should be more than the current vector, because current is always less than the voltage. I have also already told you why voltage is always greater than the more than the current in the previous lesson. Please find the region there. Okay. Also, whenever I say I am getting the 240 voltage AC, I am getting 240 AC, I am getting 2 ampere AC. These 240 and 3 ampere are a particular value which is not changing. But if I say the graph, if I see this graph, the voltage is started from 0, reached to the maximum, again decreased to 0, went to the negative. Similarly, current also increased, positive, decrease, 0, again negative. So the alternating current and the alternating voltage keeps on changing with time. But we are saying I am getting 2 ampere, I am getting 250 volt. Which voltage, which current we are saying? We have already studied in the last lesson that the voltage and the current that we measure is IRMS, okay, VRMS and IRMS, root mean square value, which is equal to 0.707 I0, sorry, this is V0, 0.0707 I0. Okay, these are the values that we measure. Where are these values? Which is quite less than V0. So this will be VIR, okay, RMS, and this value will be which is quite less than the current. So this will be IRMS. So we only measure RMS and RMS values of current and voltage. So this is phasor diagram. Now very interestingly, this I have not discussed. Let us discuss this one. This has got very importance in AC through inductor. Okay, very important for examination point of view. So let us find this one. For this, the resistance offered by inductor. Okay, we are going to study the resistance offered by the inductor, which is actually the topic called inductive reactance. INDUCTIV, inductive reactance, reactance, which is called XL. So the topic is inductive reactance. The formula, okay, for this I am going to derive this now. Resistance offered by the inductor. So what is resistance? From Ohm's law we have understood that V is equal to IR, and what is R? This V divided by I is equal to R. For all the time, the resistance offered by any electrical element is V by I, isn't it? Resistance is always V by I. So I am now studying the resistance offered by inductor, which is also called inductive reactance, denoted by XL. Okay. So here what I have is I0 is equal to V0 by L omega. And I want to find V by I because I want to calculate the resistance. Okay, and the formula of resistance is V by I. So this can be written as I0 by V0 is equal to 1 by L omega. Can I do it? I will bring this down. It will become I0 by V0. I will take the multiplicative inverse, then this will become V0 by I0 will be equal to L omega by 1. So L omega by 1 I will not write this. So this V0 by I0 is the resistance offered by inductor, which is called inductive reactance. XL is L omega. So this is inductive reactance. What is inductive reactance? Inductive reactance is the resistance offered by inductor to the flow of current. Okay. So the significance of XL. It is very important again. Significance of XL. Significance of inductive reactions. FICANC, significance of inductive reactance. So inductive reaction XL is equals to L of omega. Okay, we've done this. This is very important, and this video has become quite longer one, but this is the last. Okay, in 2-3 minutes we are going to complete this. So what is this omega? This omega is frequency, angular frequency, okay, isn't it? Now for say AC, this omega is large. Okay, what is AC? Alternating current have got the angular frequency, isn't it? It has got the angular frequency. Now for AC, if the omega is large, then XL become large because they are directly proportional. If omega is large, XL will become large. Okay, therefore for AC, XL is large. What does this mean? That is, it offers very large obstacle, resistance, isn't it? XL is the resistance only, resistance offered by the inductor. Now whenever I apply AC to the inductor, then it will offer large resistance. What does this mean? It means that the alternating current will not flow easily through inductor, because omega is here. If it is large, this is angular frequency, and angular frequency is large for alternating current. If omega is large, XL is large. If XL is large, that means the resistance offered by the inductor to the alternating current is large. It means that the inductor blocks the AC. Very important point is that inductor blocks AC, the conclusion part. Now in the next what we consider in next, let us apply for DC. For DC, omega is equal to 0, isn't it? Direct current, what is direct current? In direct current, let me draw it here. We have, this is my time and this is my voltage. Okay, this is V or current. In direct current, the value of current and the value of voltage do not change. It remains constant. It remains a straight line. So what is omega? Omega is 0. If the omega, that is, there is no frequency in the DC current. If the omega is 0, then XL is what? 0. So XL is very small. What does this mean? XL means the resistance offered by the inductor. So for DC, omega is 0, so XL become very small. That is, resistance offered by inductor is very less. If the resistance offered by the inductor is very less, then DC can easily flow. The conclusion part is DC can easily flow through the inductor. So these are the with this we complete all the topics of AC through inductor. Okay, so lastly I will discuss one question in examination. If this diagram is given and if you are asked to answer for what situation this diagram refers to, then you should be able to answer that this is for inductor. Why? Because this voltage is here and the current is here. It means that current is down, that is current is lagging by pi by 2. Current is lagging. Current is behind the voltage. There is competition of current and voltage here, and in inductor voltage wins, the current lags. So the current is below this line. Therefore this must be the situation for inductor, because in inductor voltage is ahead, current is behind. With this we end this topic. In the next lesson we apply this current to a capacitor. Sorry for this noise of this vehicle. Thank you.